Hi, Denise. Like I said in the email, it's usually easier for me to show you what all these terms mean, and then I can also use this as a visual aid to see the difference between your website and what your next nearest competitor is doing, so that way we know what kind of ground we need to make up. So I'm going to start with this website, mostly because it looks newer and your email just went to Chestnut Hill. I did see the other one. Unfortunately, there isn't really anything we can do to optimize this site. First and foremost, it's not secured, so some search engines won't even allow customers to see it. But it's basically this, if you wanted to do anything with this site, we would have to redesign it. So as far as Google is concerned, when it's going to rank your website in the search results, it's going to do so on two different ways. Like I said, the content, so it's going to come in here and it's going to read all the text on the page. It's really looking for about 1,000 to 1,500 words because it assumes that the more information you're putting out, the more of an expert you are in your field. While it's counting the words, it's also looking for all the keywords, anything that somebody would be typing into search results, usually a service, and then your location. And then this is really where the number of words on the page comes into play, because we're only allowed to put one keyword for every 100 to 150 words of text on the page. So we would need to see exactly what words you want to be found for, and then build up enough content around it to be able to support that. The second way that it determines your ranking in the search results is what's called the authority of the page, which is basically a popularity contest. You're going to build authority in two ways. Those citations, which is anytime that your name, address, and phone number appear in any kind of online directory. Those are going to be Yelp, Yellow Pages, Better Business Bureau, things like that. Usually they're all free directories. It just takes some time to find them all, register, and then put all the information in there. And then the biggest way to build authority is what's called those backlinks, which is when other websites refer back to yours. They act as an endorsement for Google, and they actually build trust because others are vouching for you. That's very similar to a customer review. If you had 1,000 5-star reviews, customers would think pretty highly of you. Same thing with Google, except it's using other websites. So I did a search for Rhode Island Insurance Agency, and then also Rhode Island Financial Planner. I didn't know which site you guys were interested in working on or which side of the business, so I figured I'd cover both. And then what I did is I just take the top ranking competitors and your website, and then I put it into this tool that I use. It's a service that basically shows me everything that Google sees when it crawls your page as far as your content and then your authority. So just to kind of explain these numbers real quick, if Channel 12 News did a story on their website and it said top 10 best local insurance agencies, and your name was in there and they did an article on it, and the customer or the reader could click on a link and that link would bring them to your website, that would be one backlink from one referring domain. So this is what really builds the authority. The citations are part of these, but the other websites that are vouching for you is what's really going to build your authority. So if we look at your competitors, Ocean Points, they're the top ranking competitor. They're the ones we have to beat if you want to get higher up in search results than them. So they got 462 other websites vouching for them. And then if we look at the financial side of it, your financial page has 19 of those backlinks, and your competitor has 160. So there isn't a whole lot of ground we need to make up. Sometimes I see these in the thousands for like major national companies. So luckily in our market, this is definitely a doable number to be able to reach. Now the second part of that is the keywords. Unfortunately, you're only being found for 3 keywords on your site. The reason for that is things like this list. Unfortunately, you don't have enough content on the page to support that many keywords, and when it just appears in a list, it's not what Google considers organic. It basically wants to see a title of a keyword and then keywords in paragraphs so they appear organically. Listing like this is what they call keyword stuffing, and then Google doesn't take that into consideration. So what we would do is some research to find all the top keywords. This right here shows the volume, the number of times it's being searched per month, and then your position, what number in Google you rank. So for instance, if we this competitor, and we'll see what keywords they're ranking for, Rhode Island Insurance Company. So 350 people a month are searching for Rhode Island Insurance Company. If your website was on the first page of Google, 350 people will be seeing your website, and then let's be really conservative here and say only 10% of those actually click in and give you a call. So that's 35 calls per month. I don't know what the conversion rate is, but let's be even more conservative and say only 10% of those actually become customers. So now you got 4 new customers per month just off of one keyword. And then we would do the same thing for all the highest ranking keywords. And then we could do the same thing for your financial page as well if you were interested in building and ranking that one. Just one quick thing to note here, it is not just a matter of the quantity, it's also the quality of the link. So for instance, if we had Pizza Hut linking back to your website, obviously Google knows that you're in financial planning, you're not making pizzas, so even though we added a link, it would not add any kind of power or authority to your site. It has to be relative. So a lot of companies will just dump links into your site to add up numbers, but it won't actually do anything to help build your authority. I do apologize for the length. However, I wanted to make sure that I could cover both sides of the business. That way you are aware of exactly what it's going to take to be competitive in each of those markets. Feel free to get back to me if you have any questions or you want me to go into any further detail about anything. We could talk about your goals for the business, and then I could do some research on my end to see exactly what it's going to take to achieve those. Thank you, and I appreciate your time.